hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie, and I have 10 really fun Easter DIYs for you today, all with a little bit of a coastal feel and all using supplies from the Dollar Tree. So let's get started. The first one, I wanted to do a coastal bunny rabbit sign. So I'm going to use some burlap, a bunny sign from the Dollar Tree, and you're just going to need like a rectangular sign. I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree chalkboards. I love them because they're nice and thick, so they don't bow or anything like that. I'm just going to cover the chalkboard part with some of that removable wallpaper from the Dollar Tree and the white wood boards. I love that. I always think it provides a nice coastal background for DIYs. To get a perfect cut around the edges, I just use a sanding block and sand that off. This is just about the right size to cover this rectangular sign. And I like to layer my Dollar Tree signs. It makes them thicker and more substantial. And I think it adds a lot of character when you have a lot of different like textures and colors going on. So I just poke a hole back in the wallpaper and reattach the hanger, just tying 2 knots in the front. Now we can get started on our little bunny rabbit. It's kind of cute as is, but I wanted to cover this bunny rabbit with burlap. So I'm just using burlap from Walmart. It's only like $2 and something a yard from there. Very inexpensive, but you can use whatever you've got. I actually had just like a scrap piece and just using an ink pen to get around all the details and that cute little bunny rabbit. I love Easter. It's got to be one of my favorite holidays to decorate for. It's just so much fun. I love bunnies. So just making sure I have all the details written on there with my pen. And now I can just go in and cut out this bunny rabbit. So just using some sharp fabric scissors, I'm just going to go in and just cut around that line. Just a super easy way to make a template, and it's going to be easier to cut it out now than it would be after attaching it to the little bunny. But I thought we could do just a little coastal bunny rabbit, and the burlap goes perfectly with that. But if you were to make a few changes to some of the details I do on it, this would kind of go with any kind of decor. And it's kind of got some little bump outs on his little cheek there and his little feet. Now I'm going to make it like the back of my bunny rabbit. And so you're like looking at the bunny's back. So to attach the Mod Podge, I'm just going to do a fairly thick layer of matte Mod Podge all over. And lay that fabric on there. You can kind of, move it around to make sure you're getting it all the way to the edge and covering up all of your wood. It's pretty forgiving. And then I like to go over the top of it with another layer of Mod Podge to make sure that it stays down and it's not going to go anywhere. Make sure you get an even coat of Mod Podge when you're going over the top of it, because you don't want it to dry in patches of glue, but I'm saturating it pretty well with it. I'm just going to go in with my heat gun and give that a dry, and it's starting to dry in there. And then if you have any fraying that's bothering you, you can just go around the edges of your little bunny and trim that up. But a little bit of the fraying is going to kind of add to the character of it, I think. So just trimming up any of those little areas. And if you use the synthetic burlap, you're not going to get quite as much fraying as this. But just giving him a little haircut. So I thought he would look really cute on those white boards. And so we're just going to attach him to our sign kind of like that. Super cute, super easy. I'm just going to use some hot glue to attach it to the board. And just press down. It's going to overlap the sides just a little bit, but I think that's okay. I think that adds a little bit of character to it as well. Now for the bunny tail, I thought it'd be really fun to do a sand dollar. So this is like a real sand dollar that I have, I think, but you can also use the ones from the Dollar Tree they have in the shore living section. But I do have these available in my Amazon shop if you do need sand dollars. And just using one of those little mini Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree, just as like a spacer. I'm using a combination of glue because I want to make sure it doesn't fall off. So it will kind of stick out a little bit and be a little bunny tail. I thought that was a really fun little coastal touch for a bunny rabbit. Now I want to decorate it a little bit with a little Easter bow. And I'm going to use, this is some of that, like the little Easter basket bags that they have for Easter at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to make my own like little seagrass ribbon with that. And we'll just make a simple little expo. I'm also going to use some of that zigzag burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree and some of that really cute like turquoise Happy Easter ribbon as well. We're just going to zip tie those all together. Gotta love an expo, so easy. And just trim off the excess. And we have a cute little decoration for this. I'm going to kind of trim them all about the same size. And then I thought to cover the little zip tie, it'd be really cute to use one of these little carrot wood ornaments from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to give it a quick stain with some Antique Wax by Waverly to stain that wood. Super easy, just sponging that on with a makeup sponge and wiping off the excess with a baby wipe. Now, it was about that time that I discovered that I was out of hot glue, which is like a travesty, right? So I'm just using some Dollar Tree glue to glue that little bow on. And then I was like, you know, I really have to have hot glue for this project. And I did pick up one of these from the Dollar Tree that I never use. It's a hot glue gun. And I think they recalled those because they're not like super safe. So beware if you have one. I made sure I watched it like a hawk when I was doing that. And I glue my bow down and glue my little carrot on there as well. Then I thought it needed just a few more decorations, so I decided to make a little crown for my bunny with some of those little tiny starfish that I get on Amazon. Those are also available in my shop, and I'm just going to do like a little crown just on the top of his head because I didn't really want to add another bow to his ear or anything like that, but just another little coastal touch. And then I thought about doing like bunny toes, but since that's the back of the bunny, his toe pads wouldn't go that way, if you know what I mean. So I decided not, but seashells were my idea for that. Now to add a little grass, a little greenery for spring, I'm just going to use some reindeer moss and just hot glue a little row of reindeer moss across the bottom. And this DIY was really easy to put together, but it turned out so cute. I just love the little details, like the little sand dollar tail. You can't beat that. And I think that is perfect. This is how our little burlap coastal bunny rabbit turned out for a little Easter sign for spring. So cute. I love him. Okay, our next DIY, I wanted to make like a carrot patch sign. So I'm just going to use like a long sign from the Dollar Tree. Can be anything. I just had one left over for Valentine's Day, and I just cut it down to about the size that I wanted because it was a little bit longer than I needed. You could also use the craft wood from the Dollar Tree for this as well. This might be a little thicker. Then I thought we could use these little bottle brush carrots from the Dollar Tree. They're like little upside down like bottle brush trees with their carrots, but if you can't find these at the Dollar Tree, you could probably paint bottle brush trees orange for sure. But I thought it'd be really cute to make a little carrot patch sign, but also to be displaying the carrots on this little board. But I want like the carrots to be like they're sticking out of the ground. So I'm just going to go on here and measure out some holes that we can drill in here so that we can kind of put the tips of the bottle brush trees down inside. And we're going to do a total of 5. So I just evenly space those out, and then I'm just going in with my drill, and I'm just going to drill a little hole in the bottom, or I guess this is the back of that little sign, and just evenly space those out. That's just going to give me a little bit of space to glue that down in there, make sure they stand up well and they don't fall over. And that, like, I guess it's like MDF board from the Dollar Tree. It does kind of make a little bit of a mess. So we have our 5 holes. Now I just want to paint it to make it look a little bit better. So I'm just using some ivory acrylic and kind of going all over. Now be careful if you've already drilled your holes like that, you might want to paint it first, because then I had to go in and kind of clean some of the paint out of the holes. And then this is the little carrot patch sign from the Dollar Tree that I thought we could use for this. It's going to be like a sign and like a little carrot display. Wanted to stain it, so I'm going to mix some Caribbean blue acrylic with some water, half and half, to make a very cute little blue stain so we can paint that. Now, I didn't really want this little bunny rabbit to be on there because I wanted to stain the little carrot patch sign blue. So I'm just using a sharp edge and my glue gun to pop that little guy off. I thought it would be easier than having to try to stain or paint around him. So I'm going to simply stain that wood. I love to do that for like a coastal touch because you can kind of see like the wood grain through it and do a nice thin coat of paint. I'm just going to use a paper towel to wipe off the excess. We have a little blue carrot patch sign. I'm going to go ahead and do the back as well, just because this is going to be a standing sign. So I'm going to want to make it look nice from the front and the back in case you can see it. Now to decorate it a little bit, I'm just going to use paint pens. I have like a little orange Sharpie paint pen. We're just going to paint the little carrots orange. And then a green Sharpie paint pen to do the leaves. Super easy when you're using paint pens on these Dollar Tree signs that already have the outlines on there, because it's just like coloring in a coloring book. And the great thing about the stain, instead of painting over it, is that the lines are still like super dark, and so you can see exactly where you need to paint. Then for like the carrot patch sign, I thought I would use white. So again, just using a white paint pen, and I'm just going to fill in all of the letters. I love a good coastal blue sign with white writing on it. For coastal decor, I always think it looks really nice. So just take your time and fill that all in. Still easier than, you know, cutting on your Cricut or something like that, because you have like your stencil right there, just to color, and it's fun. Then for the little bunny rabbit, I'm just gonna kind of stain him with a little ivory paint all over so I can still kind of see his details through there as well. And we're just gonna color him as well. I'm gonna use my orange paint pen to give him a little orange carrot with a green greenery on there. But that's about it for him. Then I'm going to distress the whole piece with my ivory to kind of give it that coastal vibe and reattach our little bunny rabbit. And I think that was probably the easiest way to deal with that sign with a little bump out piece. Sometimes those pieces can be really hard to get off though. So we have our little base sign, and then we have all these bottle brush trees. These were actually, I guess, ornaments, so they do have twine on them. So I'm just going to go through and cut the little twine loops off the back, but I do like the little raffia bows that are on there. I'm going to leave those on there. And then just using a dot of hot glue in the hole, I can stand the carrot up in there, just kind of holding it in place until it dries. And that's like the display look that you get. And I've seen bottle brush carrot decorations for Easter kind of similar to this, but this is definitely an easy Dollar Tree way to do this. So we're just going to do that all the way down for all 5 carrots. Now I was thinking the carrot patch sign can kind of be just sticking out of the carrot patch. So I'm just going to attach that to the back of it with like a little post. So there's our adorable little carrots with our little raffia bows. And for the post, I'm just using a popsicle stick. I'm just going to go ahead and paint that ivory to kind of match the base. And popsicle stick is probably not like the strongest piece of wood I could have used for this, but it was kind of what I had, and it was going to be easy to make it whatever size I needed it. So I'm just going to glue that to the back of our little carrot patch sign. It's not too heavy. And then I can just cut that with scissors down to size to make it exactly the right height that I need. Super easy to cut that down. And I just want to kind of attach it to the back. So I trim it down until it's short enough to fit on my shelf, and then just using a little bit of hot glue to start attaching it here. I didn't think that the hot glue would be quite sturdy enough for that, so I'm also going to follow that up with a staple from my staple gun. Or 2, or 3. And there's our little carrot patch sign, so cute. I did want to add a few more little burlap coastal touches. So to line the sides of the base, I'm going to use some of this burlap ribbon with the little ivory like circles kind of all over it. And we're just going to glue that all the way around the edges of our little carrot patch, just to add another little fun detail. And I'm going to go all the way around the back as well, just to make it look like a finished piece. And then I thought the carrot patch needed some detail too, so I'm actually going to use some twine. This is that thicker twine that you get at Walmart, but you can kind of use whatever you want. You could also use rope if you wanted, but I just wanted a little bit more of a coastal vibe, and so that's the only reason I'm outlining the sign. And just doing a thin bead of hot glue all around the edges and gluing that twine down. And I think that looks really cute. I love all the different textures and colors on this. It looks really cute for my coastal decor for Easter. And this is how it turned out, our little carrot patch sign, complete with carrots. Aren't those bottlebrush carrots from the Dollar Tree adorable? I just love this piece. Okay, the next DIY, I wanted to make a coastal egg. And so I'm using one of these plastic giant eggs from the Dollar Tree. And I thought we could make a Seashell Easter egg. Now, this was kind of a labor of love, but it turned out fantastic. It is so beautiful. It's such a work of art. So just removing the plastic from our giant egg and actually putting it together, I was a little worried about it staying together. And so I'm just doing a bead of hot glue all the way around the egg to kind of help reinforce that, because we're going to cover this with seashells. So we're going to need it to be kind of strong. I'm just using a Dollar Tree seashells, like these little scallop type shells. I'm trying to kind of map out exactly how I can do this. But I was worried that you might be able to see like the blue or the clear plastic through like the seams in between the shells. So I'm just going to go over the whole egg with ivory paint first to give myself a nice background for our seashells, especially the blue on here. Now you'll see that there is like a flat edge there on the bottom, which is not ideal, but actually, in the end, I don't think you can probably even tell. But that can always be your back, right? Because we're going to kind of have this Easter egg stand up and just be a beautiful, like, shell display, honestly. It turned out so nice. But I need a base, so I'm just going to use one of these little dollar spot signs from Target. It can be whatever you've got, but this is just a nice size. It's perfect size for this egg, and it's kind of heavy, so I think it's gonna look nice. It was white, but I just painted it ivory to kind of go with my coastal decor. And we have a super easy little base for our egg. I thought I should go ahead and attach it to the base now before I start attaching the seashells. So I'm just using hot glue and gluing that down with the flat side there on the back. And you definitely have to hold it until it's dry. Now, to kind of reinforce that joint right there and add another little coastal touch, I'm just using some Dollar Tree brown rope and hot gluing that all the way around. And it looks nice, but it's also going to make that a little bit stronger. And now I think we have a pretty good starting place for this little shell egg. Just using my little cake decorating tool from Dollar Tree there to avoid burning myself. And now I think we have the perfect base. So we can start building with seashells. I'm going to start at the bottom and just glue the first one on. And then I'm just going to keep building. I'm making like the shells kind of go in the same direction, slightly overlapping them. So I'm not just gluing them to the egg, but I'm also gluing them to the next shell. And I'm just going to keep going around on that bottom base, doing them this direction, just kind of upright. And then I'm going to kind of start in the center and the back to kind of make sure that I get these spaced out properly. It's pretty forgiving, but if a shell doesn't fit, just try another one for sure. And it's kind of like doing a driftwood project or something like that. I always kind of compare it to a puzzle, but I'm kind of using different colors, but mainly these little scallop size shells. And I was trying to determine if I should keep going in that pattern or if I should flip them upside down for the next row. And I really like the look of flipping them upside down for the next row because it kind of gives it like a really cool, like kind of tortoise shell vibe. It looks cool. And we're going to start with that second row there. And same thing, just kind of going around, overlapping. I'm overlapping the bottom row slightly too, just because I thought, you know, it's going to cover more and I'm gluing it to more than one surface, so it's going to help them stay on. But actually, this held up really well with hot glue. Again, when I get to the back, I'm kind of making sure that I have them kind of spaced out properly so they'll all fit. And I'm not too worried about the back as much as I am the front. And so for the third row, again, I'm doing it the same as I did the bottom row. And see how they kind of all sandwich together when you flip the direction of the shells? And then I'm just going to speed this way up and we're going to glue these all the way up to the top of the egg. I often don't craft with just predominantly shells like this. I know a lot of people do, but a lot of times with shell projects, they can kind of end up looking kind of unprofessional or tacky. But this little coastal egg just turned out beautiful. One of my favorite Easter DIYs I've ever done. And I kind of like the fact that I'm varying colors and such. I kind of want it to look really random. And again, every row, just flipping the direction and keep working my way up this giant egg. And I think that this is probably the only giant egg that they have at the Dollar Tree. I can't remember seeing another kind, but the plastic probably works better with the amount of hot glue that I'm using. Like if it were foam or something like that, that would be really melting. So again, just kind of putting a puzzle together, a small one next to a big one, just trying it. If it fits, I glue it on. If it doesn't fit, I grab another one. Sometimes you need two like that just to fill it in. And I'm not too worried about being able to see through because we did paint the ivory paint underneath. And we're getting almost all of it covered up here at the top. And then one big shell on the top. It's going to finish it out perfectly. And we have a little seashell Easter egg. If you do have like any hot glue that seeped out, you can always clean that up a little bit with a heat gun. It's going to make it look really pretty. And there's our little Easter egg. I did have a few gaps between my shells that I thought would look a little bit better brown. So I do go in there with a little tan paint and just kind of distress some of the larger like gaps in between, but that step's probably not necessary. It turned out so cute though. Here's our little Easter egg made out of seashells. Isn't it pretty? So you can't really tell that the back is a little bit flatter, but it doesn't matter because it's kind of the back of my display anyway. And this is how it looks in my house for Easter. And I love how some of the shells are they really look natural. Super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that DIY. I know I don't craft with shells like that a lot. Now I thought we could make another little Easter sign. I'm going to again use one of those little chalkboards from the Dollar Tree because I love those. They're my favorite. I always try to stock up on those. I love a good plain rectangular sign that's nice and thick. Now, this is my favorite kind of removable wallpaper from the Dollar Tree. This is the light blue with the palm fronds all over. So beautiful and tropical, but I love it. I think it's going to be really pretty for Easter. And it's just that peel and stick removable wallpaper, just like a big old sticker, and you can cover up whatever's on your existing sign. The chalkboards are great because there's no glitter or anything like that. That's going to provide any kind of raised areas. We're going to get a nice flat surface, just attaching that down. It is like, I always cut it. Sometimes I cut it, sometimes I don't, but I always make it bigger than the sign and then just go around the edges with that sanding sponge again to give myself that perfect clean cut. Now for this DIY, I wanted to make a coastal Easter egg, and so kind of a different version than we did before with the little coastal Easter bunny. This one I wanted to do like a seagrass Easter egg. So that looks really good as a background. This is the egg that I'm going to use, the egg sign from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use that as a base to make a little coastal Easter egg. It's kind of cute as is. I like that white kind of distressed finish on there. But we're going to cover ours with seagrass. Now I have, this is one of those little Easter purses from the Dollar Tree. I really like the tan. I really think that gives you that nice seagrass feel. And so I'm trying to determine how I can use this little bag to cover this big egg, but we're going to make it work. Now, last year at the Target Dollar Spot, I was able to get this kind of a bag in a larger size for like $3, and that works really well for crafting as well. But I just cut it in half like I normally would. It's going to give me a nice big piece here that's going to cover at least half of our Easter egg, right? And then I can use the other half to cover the rest. Just a quick, easy little hack to make a little seagrass project. I'm just going to cut off the top part of that bag, trying to get a straight edge. As you can see, it does kind of, the edges do kind of bow the way that it is wound around, but we're going to work with it. So I cut off that top row that was kind of uneven to kind of straighten it up a little bit. And then we're going to start gluing this down. I'm just going to use a nice thick layer of Mod Podge because it is kind of still like a fabric. And I really didn't want like hot glue to seep in between the holes in the seagrass. So just smoothing that down. It's okay that it's a little bit larger. I can always trim it when it is dry. And then I'm trying to get this edge as straight as possible too. As you can see, there's just a little bit of bowing just from the design of the bag. But we're going to try to make it work. I did have another purse handy, and so I thought maybe if I use the back of this one, I can get a little bit of straighter line. I can't say that this bag was any better than the one that I just kind of set aside, but I'm trying to get a straight edge. And I kind of cut the sides off on that one as well, so I can kind of move it around a little bit. But again, it's not going to line up perfectly, but that's okay. We can always decorate that part of our Easter egg and kind of cover that up and kind of disguise it, kind of make it look like it's one big piece of seagrass. So I got it as close as I can get it, just trimming that down so it will fit on there perfectly. And then we can Mod Podge that piece down as well. So I get it on there. You're going to have to let it dry a little bit before you can start trimming it. And I also thought it might be better if I did a coat of Mod Podge over the top, since this is kind of a heavy fabric that we're attaching. And I think that did help secure it and make it, like, you know, a little bit more permanent. But that's how you can use the little bags like that to kind of piece it together on a bigger project like that. You just kind of have to work with it. And I am just now trimming that all around the edges of our Easter egg. And we have a cute little Seagrass Easter egg for this sign. Loving the texture, and I think that's going to look really good against this great wallpaper. I'm just going to go ahead and poke the holes back in this sign through the wallpaper. I like to use a little weeder from the Dollar Tree. It works great for that. And the egg fits perfectly on that chalkboard size rectangle. Just going to attach it to the wallpaper with hot glue. And kind of center that right on there. And then we can decorate this little Easter egg for Easter. I thought starfish would be perfect because it's going to kind of cover that seam right there down the middle. These are actually starfish that I get on Amazon, but they're almost exactly the same size as the one from Dollar Tree. You could totally use those as well if you have some. And they should be coming back to the store soon with the Shore Living line, I hope. I think so, because they're available on the website right now. Just trying to figure out which way looks best because they're not quite symmetrical. And gluing a row of 3 little starfish across our little Easter egg. Now I wanted to do like some squiggle lines and stuff like that to decorate it as well. I'm just going to go ahead and reattach my hanger at this point. Just using the twine and tying the knot in the front. And then for the little squiggle lines, I'm just using Dollar Tree rope. This is kind of like the skinnier rope. And just doing a little squiggle, kind of one section at a time, hot gluing that to our Easter egg. And in my last Easter DIY video, I did something kind of similar with the white rope on the like brown or burlap egg, and looked super cute. So this is kind of the opposite, the brown rope on the seagrass. But I think that looks really cute for an Easter egg decoration. We're going to keep with that same pattern right here on the bottom of the egg, doing little squiggly rope lines on here as well. It's so cute and fun. I love using this tropical wallpaper. I've used it for Christmas. I've used it for Easter. I've used it for so many holidays. Then I wanted to finish it off with a cute little Easter bow. I'm going to use some of this Dollar Tree burlap in the brown, and it's a little too thick for what I wanted to do, so I just cut it in half and made a thinner ribbon. And then some of this little flowery turquoise Easter ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to make a simple little X bow here for our little Easter egg sign. Also using some of the zigzag burlap. I love like all 3 of the designs of those little burlap ribbons from the Dollar Tree. They're so cute. And we're just going to secure that with a zip tie. So easy and so cute for a little Easter bow for a little Easter egg sign. Just going to kind of trim them down, kind of make them all about the same length, and clean it up a little bit. Then we're going to attach this cute little X-bow. I thought it'd be really cute up here in the corner, right above our little coastal Easter egg. Just kind of gluing and arranging that little X-bow on there. And then I thought one of these little wood bunny rabbits from the Dollar Tree would be really cute to kind of finish that bow off and to cover up the little zip tie that's on there. Just trying to make sure this bow is going the right direction. And then we can just hot glue that on there. I wasn't sure if I wanted to paint or stain that little bunny. I did go ahead and glue it on there natural like that. But then I thought it probably would look really cute stained. So I'm just going to use a makeup sponge and some antique wax by Waverly and do a really quick little stain job on our little Easter bunny. And a cute little detail for our little Easter egg. And there it is, our little Seagrass Easter egg. I love it. I love the little starfish on there and that tropical vibe background with that wallpaper. So cute. Okay, this is the bag that I was talking about from the Target dollar spot. It is a much larger bag. It's like kind of like a beach bag. And it's just going to give me a bigger surface, kind of the same effect. Actually, it wasn't $3. It was actually $5. Little woven tote bag. But you could probably do this with the little bags that we use from the Dollar Tree if you pieced it together. And that's kind of, see how similar they are? The one from the Dollar Tree does have like the little cutouts in it, but that one was kind of more full. Now, I want to do a seagrass bunny rabbit, like a shelf sitter, but I don't really have like an existing sign from the Dollar Tree that was in the shape that I wanted. I wanted it to kind of look like this, like a little like Peeps bunny kind of thing. And so I'm using that little bunny that you see there just as inspiration. That's off one of the little Dollar Tree signs. I use that to make a garland. And I'm just using some of that foam board from the Dollar Tree and a Sharpie. And I'm trying my best to sketch that out. You're not going to be able to see any of this mess. So it's okay if you have to try a couple times to kind of get kind of a symmetric bunny rabbit. But then we're just going to kind of cut that out. I'm not a big fan of cutting the foam board or the cardboard and stuff like that, but this was a pretty easy shape, so I think we can pull it off. And you can also do this too if you can't find any of like the wooden signs that you might need for a DIY, you can kind of make your own thing as well. So I just wanted it to be just a really simple bunny rabbit, standing straight up with little ears straight up. And so that's what we're going to do. And then cover that entire bunny rabbit with seagrass. Now I kind of made the bunny rabbit the perfect size for this. It's going to fit perfectly with the size of the bag. And again, we're just going to cut this apart and cut a strip of that material out to cover our bunny rabbit. That has great handles as well, which would be great for crafting too. Now I want to cover like the entire bunny rabbit with this material. And so I'm going to kind of make it larger than my little foam board piece. I was trying to get the rest of that handle off there because I was afraid it was going to interfere. And I did that, and then I'm just going to use the Sharpie that we used before to kind of draw on the seagrass where I want to cut it. Just a little bit bigger than my bunny. That way it's going to kind of sandwich that foam board inside. That's just going to be kind of the structure to make it stand up. And now we can just go around and cut on our lines and cut out that little bunny shape. And don't worry if you can see the marker, because I'm just going to use that side as my inside piece. You won't be able to see it. Now I wanted the back of my project to be kind of finished too, so I'm also using just some burlap that I got. This is a burlap roll from Walmart, and I'm kind of using that existing seagrass as a stencil, and we're going to go ahead and cut out a burlap back as well. And that's just going to be the back of my little stand-up bunny. It's just going to make it look more finished, but I thought I would go ahead and measure that so I can cut that out. Now it's going to make it easier to put this all together. We can sandwich our little foam board piece in between the little seagrass piece and the burlap, just like that, and see how I have like probably about a 1/2 inch border all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and secure this together with hot glue on the foam board, attaching that to the seagrass. And then I still have plenty enough room around the edges to attach the seagrass to the burlap back. So we're just going to go ahead and lay the burlap that we cut down into the bunny shape as well. And honestly, it'd be really cute if you wanted to do a burlap bunny like this as well. You can kind of see through it though, so you're going to have to make sure that your foam board underneath is cut pretty even. And so I'm just hot gluing all around the edges, also hot gluing it down to the foam board, kind of sandwiching that in there. And of course with burlap, you're going to get a little bit of fraying around the edges. And so I'm just going to give it a quick trim. But I am going to finish the edges, but I do need them to be pretty symmetrical and even. But I don't want to leave it all exposed like that, so I'm going to use some of this decorative nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. This is the thinner kind, like the 9.5 foot, I think. And I thought that would be the perfect border around. It's going to kind of sandwich all that together and cover up all of my exposed or rough edges over here. And it's also going to provide like just another coastal touch. So I'm just going to hot glue that little rope all the way around the bunny rabbit to frame him out. And I did cut it right between the two ears because I was afraid it was going to be really hard to go around that corner. So I just cut that down to go straight down into its ear. And then I can just start with that piece that I just cut off and get it close down in there as I can. It almost causes them to touch a little bit there, but I got it to fit. And then just wrapping that same rope all the way around until we get to the bottom of our bunny rabbit. Now I want this little seagrass bunny rabbit to stand up. I'm going to make it like a shelf sitter decor. And so I'm going to use a Dollar Tree sign for the bottom of the base. And this is the sign I'm going to use. It's just another one of those long board signs from the Dollar Tree. I think just left over from Valentine's Day, but it can be whatever. I love the fact that it was blue though. It was kind of the perfect color. I kind of measure about how wide I need it to be, and then I just cut it down to size. And then I want my little bunny rabbit to kind of stand up on the little blue base, just like that. Super cute. I did kind of want something to kind of be able to attach it to the sign though. So I'm just using, this is like one of those like hot dog skewers that they have in the summer at the Dollar Tree. Just any kind of a dowel. I just kind of cut that down to size. And I thought that would be good because I kind of have like that open seam along the bottom between the burlap and the seagrass. So I just hot glue that right into the center of my base. And then I hot glue on top of the little dowel. And I just sit my bunny rabbit right on top, sandwiching that in between my burlap and my seagrass, and also gluing it to the bottom of my foam board. Since it's made out of foam board and fabric, it's not real heavy, so I don't think it's going to be too hard to keep it standing there. But now to finish off that loose edge around the bottom, I'm going to use that same rope that we bordered all around, and I'm going to glue that on. That's also going to help glue it to the base and provide a little bit more stability. And then I'm going to go around and do it on the back as well, because you can't be too careful. And then I thought our little bunny needed a bunny tail. This is just a pom-pom I had sitting around, I think from craft kit, maybe from Target, but you can use whatever you can find. There's lots of these available from Dollar Tree in all different kinds of colors. Love them. Little bunny tail. And we're just going to hot glue this right here down at the bottom of our bunny bum. And then we're going to be looking at the back of this little seagrass bunny rabbit. I love that blue base. It was the perfect color for this DIY. Then I thought we could decorate it a little bit more with some of this Happy Easter ribbon. So pretty in this turquoise color. I'm just going to tie a simple little bow where you can see the Happy Easter on the loops and tails. And then we can just decorate like one of the little ears of our little bunny rabbit here. Just cutting my tails down evenly. And then we can just hot glue that on. Super cute. And a fun little detail for our little bunny rabbit. You could also do a bow around its neck if you wanted. I didn't want anything too frilly because I really liked that coastal feel we had going on there. And then I was trying to see if a little starfish would look really cute on there as well. Just to add a little coastal vibe. And so we're just going to glue that on there. It's a little larger than I would normally use on a bow that size, but it's kind of fun and whimsical. And again, that's just a little starfish that I get on Amazon. And this is how it turned out, our little Seagrass Easter bunny. So cute. I love all of the little coastal touches and colors. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about my private Facebook group. I also have a Facebook page. I have the link to both below. I would love it if you would come follow me. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest at Crafty Beach on YouTube. Now let's keep going with more Easter DIYs. This next one, I wanted to do a coastal little chick sign for Dollar Tree. So we're going to use some blue pebbles and a little wood chick from the Dollar Tree. And you know I love these little chalkboard signs. So in one of the little chalkboard signs, I wanted it to be rectangular. And we're going to kind of give it that same background that we did on the little burlap Easter bunny. I'm going to kind of hang these together so they're kind of a set. But the little burlap bunny is going to look totally different than this little chick. But I like their backgrounds to kind of match as well. So I just peel and stick that removable wallpaper on there and use a sanding sponge to cut off the excess. Just a quick, easy way to DIY because you're not going to have to worry about painting it and covering like the image that was already on there. I just absolutely love this stuff. Now I wanted to do like just a completely different effect on this one. I wanted it to be a little blue chick for Easter, but you know, I think they have the pebbles in different colors, so you could always kind of do different colors, I think, as well. So this is the little chick that we're going to decorate. It's super cute, and I thought we could cover it with those little light blue pebbles from the Dollar Tree. I thought it would be a really cool technique for this. But I'm going to need a thick glue. So I like to pick up this tacky glue from the Dollar Tree because it's nice, thick, and gooey. Works great for applications like this. And I'm going to go all over my little baby chick and do a thick layer of that tacky glue. And then we can simply glue the little blue pebbles all over. Aren't they pretty? I think it's like the perfect like coastal blue color. Now you're going to kind of make a little bit of a mess when you do this, so I would advise putting something down first. And I'm just kind of sprinkling that all over, kind of pushing that down into the tacky glue. And this is going to be hanging on the wall, so I want to make sure that they're all really nice and secure on there. And now I got smart and put down a cutting board. And I'm going to go all the way around the edges with the blue rocks as well. As you can tell, there's a lot of those pebbles in just one package. And kind of picking them up, putting them on the edges, trying to fill in the edges of our chick as much as we can. I don't really want to glue the pebbles to the side, the edges of it, because I do want a crisp line to kind of make it still look like a little baby chick. Now to further secure it, I'm going to use some of the spray glue from the Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just going to spray all over to kind of give like a glue from the bottom and a glue from the top. It's going to help secure them together into each other. Now you're going to have to let this dry for a while to make sure it's good and stuck. But I did notice that I did have a few edges that did have a few gaps. So I'm just going to go around with some glue and kind of try to fill in any gaps I have around the edges. And then you can use your heat gun for this. Probably the best way is just to let it sit. I did go over it with more spray adhesive, and I did use my heat gun, and then I kind of went around all the edges just to pull off any stray little pebbles that were kind of stuck to the side to kind of clean up that shape again. Easy peasy. You're going to want to do that step now before you attach it to the sign. So I thought I would go ahead and reattach my hanger for my little chalkboard. So just poking a hole in front, and we're going to tie this back on easy peasy. The only difficult part is probably trying to thread it through. And I like to tie my knots on the front. I find that the sign always hangs better that way for me. And here's our little pebble blue chick for Easter. Isn't that cute? I think the color is perfect for Easter, and I love all the texture of the pebbles. I'm going to go ahead and hot glue it down without trying to turn it upside down quite yet, because I wasn't sure if it was completely dry at this point. Then I wanted to decorate it a little bit. I have kind of an empty corner up here above my chick, and I have part of that purse left over, that seagrass purse from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to kind of cut like just a little square down, just like kind of a little background, and then attach like a little sand dollar on there for a little coastal touch. And I think this is just a sand dollar that I got on Amazon, about the same exact size as the ones from the Dollar Tree though. Just going to attach that little seagrass purse down here to the corner. And this is going to help coordinate with that bunny rabbit that we made earlier as well, because it's going to match the little sand dollar tail that was on there. Super cute and a fun little decoration for our little Easter chick. Now along the edges, I thought it would be cute to kind of frame it out, just to kind of make the shape of the little Easter egg chick pop a little bit more. So I'm just using some of that thicker twine from Walmart, and I'm going to simply just hot glue that around all the edges of our little chick, just to provide another little coastal detail, but I think it also helped really show off the shape of the chick, so you can totally tell what it is. And I made like I think I made something similar for Thanksgiving for a turkey. It turned out really cute. I love the blue pebbles. Now I wanted to make a cute little expo for our sign. So again, I'm using burlap from the Dollar Tree cut in half, some blue Happy Easter ribbon, and then some of this little lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree as well, just for fun. Gonna kind of do the Happy Easter on top and just do a very simple little expo. Just using a zip tie to secure that. And I kind of use zip ties on all these DIYs, so it does kind of make them coordinate a little bit better. And I love expos because they're so easy to do. Now to cover up the little zip tie on this one, I'm going to use one of these little wood chicks from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to stain that with Antique Wax by Waverly, and it's going to go with the cute little chick that we have on the front of this sign. So I think it would look really cute, like just kind of in the center right there, just to kind of top the sign off. And it kind of overlaps our little sand dollar decor on there as well. And then hot gluing the little wooden chick on top. I think this turned out really fun for Easter. I just love this DIY. What do you guys think about our little pebble chick? Now I kind of wanted to put a little grass on the bottom. So I'm using some reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree, and we're just going to do a thin layer of grass to kind of simulate, or moss to simulate grass along the bottom. I like to do that for my spring DIYs. I think it makes them look really springy. And don't worry if it looks a little crazy along the bottom, because once you get it all glued down, you can just go in and trim it up and make it look nice. And that's the final step. This is how our little pebble Easter chick turned out for Easter. Isn't he cute? And again, make sure you let that dry so the pebbles stay stuck, but actually every single one stayed glued down. Okay, our next DIY, I wanted to do like a coastal carrot. So I'm going to use one of these little wood carrot signs from the Dollar Tree, and I kind of wanted to make it into a shelf sitter, and I thought driftwood would be perfect. We can make a driftwood carrot. I like to pick up this driftwood vase filler available from Target. It's normally like $10 a box, but definitely watch out for it because it does go on sale a lot throughout the year, and I always try to stock up on it when it does. I love to craft with it though because it's easily available from Target, and they're very flat pieces of driftwood, and so they're really easy to glue down and craft with. And so I thought we would just kind of start hot gluing those to our little wooden carrot, kind of using the back of the carrot here where it's nice and flat. And just kind of starting off by doing the easy part, we're going to kind of frame around the edges. And again, when you're putting together driftwood, it's exactly like putting together a puzzle. If a piece isn't going to work, just try another piece and keep working together until you're going to get good coverage. I love doing driftwood projects. I've done so many of them on here on this channel, and they always just turn out so fun. And I think this is a nice little surprise for a coastal Easter decoration. So I got the carrot part all framed out, so now we're just going to go in and just start gluing pieces in the center. I'm trying to kind of work the same direction. Some of the pieces are really large like that, so kind of take advantage of that. That's going to cover a lot of area. And you can always overlap them as needed and kind of glue them to themselves. Just trying to get all the area of the carrot covered. Kind of in a neat pattern. Now for the greenery part, kind of the same thing. I'm kind of working straight out in directions like the leaves would go up and down like that. Just trying to find like pieces that are going to fit well. The longer pieces in the middle, maybe some of the shorter pieces along the edges. And we're kind of working in that same direction that we did on the carrot too. Just hot gluing that all over until I have really good coverage. I want to stand this up on my shelf for Easter. So I will make a base for this, but basically trying to get all of the driftwood on there first. And if you can't get a piece quite small enough, you can kind of trim these down a little bit to size. Now, it's very light for a driftwood, so to give it more character, we are going to stain it with some antique wax by Waverly. And I'm just using a chunky brush, trying to go in there and give it a little bit more color, bring out that detail of that driftwood, and just kind of make it look a little bit nicer. You can kind of go as dark as you want with this. I was just kind of trying to give it a little bit of warmth. And if you get a little bit too much on there, you can always go over it with a baby wipe to kind of wipe off the excess. Now, this is like one of those long signs we've been using today from the Dollar Tree. Just a spare piece that I had from cutting it down to size. I thought it would be a nice base. And so I'm just going to paint it all over with some ivory acrylic just to kind of give a nice plain color to this. It's going to kind of match my ivory shelves that we're going to display it on. And then I kind of want my carrot to be standing kind of like upside down, kind of on an angle. So I'm just going to try to start hot gluing that to the base. It's probably not going to be sturdy enough with just this L shape, but I can always keep building it out on the back a little bit, but I kind of wanted to get it lined up exactly how I would sit it there. And then I just kind of need another piece of wood here on the back. And I do have enough room for one of these little wood cubes from the Dollar Tree. And so I had it handy, so I'm just going to use that. But you could use like Jenga blocks or whatever you have. You're just going to need something a little sturdier if you're going to make yours stand up like this. Otherwise, you could attach a hanger, and this would be a really cute hanging Easter decor as well. Now, I got it to that point and I said, I don't know how much this looks like a carrot since it's brown. So I mixed up some pumpkin orange, like acrylic paint with water, and made an orange stain. And I'm just going to go over the carrot part of the driftwood with that orange stain, leaving the greenery part, that brown color, just to kind of give it a little bit more carrot feel, if you know what I mean. But it's still got that antique wax under it, so it still kind of coordinates together. But I kind of like that effect, and that's how that turned out. And here's my little driftwood carrot for Easter. Definitely fun, unique, and whimsical. I'm telling you, I can make any holiday a coastal holiday decoration. Okay, our next DIY, I wanted to make like a giant bunny rabbit decor for my wall. So I'm going to start with one of these bunny rabbit face wreath forms from the Dollar Tree and some of this 11-foot nautical rope cotton from the Dollar Tree. And I thought we could like weave around that pattern of the wreath form to make a really cute like rope woven little bunny head. So I'm going to start right here at the top of the bunny head. I just attached that to the back of the wreath form, and I'm going to weave that through. How I'm going to weave this is like a traditional woven where I go under that middle row and then go over the bottom, and then I'm going to come back through like this. Going to show you slowly on the first ones to make sure that you see how I weave this. And then I'm going to go over instead of under, and then pull it around and over the top. So you're just going to weave it back and forth like that with rope. And when it's really long like this, when you're just kind of starting out, it's a little squirrely to get it to work. But once you get going on it, it gets a lot easier. So like under the middle one and then over the middle one. And then you just keep reversing that pattern. And we're going to go all the way around the bunny head like that. It does take a little bit of time to weave these, but they turn out so beautiful. I love this one. So as you're doing it, you can see that different sections do have the little crossbars. You're going to want to keep it as tight as you can. So whenever you go through a row, you know, kind of pull it back, keep it tight. Try to fit as many rows as you can before you get to the end of a section like that. It's just going to make it look nicer. And in the end product, you can kind of see, you know, the metal through there, but that kind of just shows off the weaving pattern. So it just really kind of adds some fun detail to it. So as you can see, it's going to get way faster, and I'm going to speed this way up because it does take a little bit of time to complete this. But let me show you about how far one of the rope goes around this little bunny head wreath. Just about right there. Now we can hot glue those two ends down to the back and then start a new package. And when you start a new package, just make sure you keep going with that same pattern that you finished off on, and you'll never be able to really tell where you start and stop. Now, I wanted to do something different for the bunny ears than just the rope, so I thought it'd be really fun to use some of those wood bead garlands from the Dollar Tree. You could use any wood beads that you have. I used to get them on Amazon all the time until Dollar Tree started hooking me up, but I just cut one of the bunny ears off right there at the end so that we can put the wood bead on the little bunny ears. And I'm just going to leave them like that natural color. I think that looks really nicely with that kind of ivory rope from the Dollar Tree. and it looks really nice and coastal for Easter. So I'm just going to start putting those on the little bunny ear right here at the corner. It is kind of a tight bend, but you can kind of open that up to make that a little easier to get around, because you can always bend that back once you get all the little wood beads on there. We're just going to fill up the little ears with wood beads, both of them. So super easy, just taking them off that and popping them all on. Super fun way to bead your little bunny ears. And I've seen some people use wrap the rope, unwind the rope and wrap it around like the ears, but I love the beaded look. It really makes it look high end. Now when you get to the end, I'm going to hot glue that down. I've got it turned upside down where I can hot glue that back to the frame. And I think that's pretty secure. I'm going to do a little bit more hot glue to make sure. And then I'm going to take another strand of that wood bead garland, do the same thing over here. You kind of need to just kind of pop the one end off. It comes off kind of easily. You don't even really need to cut it. Just kind of pull it back and forth and just open that up. We're going to fill that little ear up with wood beads as well. Now, I told you I was going to do a giant bunny for my wall. So this is actually just kind of half of the bunny, because we're going to make a really large Easter decor piece for my wall. And this is what we're going to use for the rest of the body of the bunny. We're going to use one of the egg wreaths. It makes the perfect size. And so I want it to be the same feel as the bunny head. So we're going to use that same white nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and we are going to weave the body. Now you'll notice the difference between the Easter bunny had 3 wires and this one has 4. So keep that in mind. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to go, on this one, I'm going to go over, under, right? And then the next one I'll go over, under. So you're still alternating the pattern, but there is some more weaving involved when you get to a 4 line like this. But I wasn't sure if I would get the same effect since I'm always so used to doing it with 3. But it definitely did, and it looks really cool. So we are just going to keep alternating that pattern and wrapping this rope all the way around this little egg wreath form. And a pro tip, whenever you're weaving with this Dollar Tree rope, be sure to leave the tape on the end, because you're putting that through lots of wire there, and it's going to get all frayed out if you go ahead and take that tape off. I guess that's kind of why it's there. So that's about how far one package of rope goes on the egg form. This would be really cute if you wanted to just do a rope egg as well. You could always decorate your little rope egg. And, this is the longer rope, but again, it is also thinner. So you're going to get, different results if you use the wider white rope. But I always start and stop on the back, just continuing that same pattern until we go all the way around. I thought this would be a really cute body to attach to the little rope head that we did before. And then we can do it can be the back of the bunny. We can do a little bunny bum. So we got it all filled up, hot gluing the last rope to the bottom. And now we need a giant bunny tail. So I thought we would make our own. I'm going to use this jute cord from Walmart. This is a little thicker than the one that you're going to get at Dollar Tree, but you could always use that one as well. I just kind of need something big, so I'm just going to use the container that I had laying around and just wrap that around a whole bunch of times, kind of like we're just doing a giant tassel, right? You can see I used quite a bit of twine, got a nice circular pattern like that, then take another piece of twine that I cut off and tie that down right there in the middle. What we're going to do is just make a giant pom-pom. So I just use my scissors and I cut all the loops on this side. And I love the effect of using the jute cord instead of yarn. Really gives you a nice rustic feel. And then we're going to cut all of the loops on the other side. And as you can see, this is a big poofy bunny tail because this is a big bunny. And just kind of work with it until it looks like a ball shape. And then we can attach that to the bottom of this bunny. Isn't that fun? Just because of the size of this, you're probably not going to be able to find a pom-pom this large, so you're probably definitely going to have to make one. But I love the brown color and the kind of the rope on rope we got going on there. So I just hot glue that to the bottom. And you can always trim off any little loose ones that you think might be a little too long. But it's okay for it to look a little bit crazy. And now we just need to attach our little bunny body to our bunny head. So I'm just using a little bit of twine, tying that to the top of the egg wreath form. And then I'm just going to tie that to the bottom of the bunny head, trying to kind of find the perfect center place to place that and tie those together. And this is really big. I'm going to show you kind of like the zoomed out version of this on my wall so you can kind of see the scale of this DIY. This would be really cute on a front door as well. I kind of have a weird wall in my house and I think it's going to look great on that. Now, to kind of make just a little bow for the neck, I'm just going to use Dollar Tree rope and the brown rope and tie a little bow here. Another little fun coastal rope detail, and it kind of like makes that, kind of blends that like little joint together between the head and the body. Super easy, super fun. And this is how it looks. I wanted to show you how big this is. I have this weird little wall in my entryway, and it is nice and large, but I love it. I love how the wood bead and all the different ropes and jutes and everything go nicely together. And I think it looks nice and coastal as well because we're using all of those natural colors and all of that rope. I think rope always looks really coastal. Isn't that cute? I love that DIY. Okay, our next DIY, we're going to use one of these little foam bunnies from the Dollar Tree. And I thought we could do a little sand bunny. You know, I love everything to be coastal. I love me a good sand castle. But we're going to try to make a sand bunny. So I just put down a metal pan from the Dollar Tree to catch the mess. And we're going to use some of the brown sand from the Dollar Tree. You could always use white for this as well. And I'm going to Mod Podge sand all over. Now, I'm just kind of using Mod Podge just because it's going to be a little bit lighter. I don't think I'm going to need anything thicker than that. You could always use school glue as well. Basically, went over half of the bunny with the Mod Podge and then just sprinkling the sand all over. Doing a sand project like this is so easy when you already have like just a plain white base. You're not worried about covering up any colors or anything. So I just flip it over, put Mod Podge on the other side and sprinkle sand on this side of the bunny as well. Gonna stand it up and continue sprinkling sand all over the bunny head. Got to be careful if you're drying it with a heat gun though, because it is styrofoam, so you don't want it to melt. So very gently giving it a quick dry, and then just kind of using some of the leftover sand to try to cover up his ears a little bit better. Trying to cover up any of the white styrofoam that you can still see through. And I don't want to kind of mess up what I've already got going on, so I give it a quick dry. Then to help it stay down, I'm going to use some more of that spray glue from Dollar Tree and just kind of spray glue, then do another layer of sand. The reason I like to switch to spray glue is because you can't really use a brush at this point. It's going to take off all the sand. So I flip it over and I spray glue this side and do a second coat of sand on this side to make sure all that styrofoam is covered. And basically that's the only thing we're going to do to this Easter bunny. I just wanted a really cute little sand bunny to go with my coastal Easter decor. And I'm just making sure his face, you kind of can do one side at a time, but then you kind of have to do the top as well. And spraying him with one more coat of that glue to make sure all of that sand stays put. Oh, and there's our little sand bunny. Don't drop it. And this is how he turned out. Super whimsical, super fun. Definitely coastal for Easter. Okay, our next DIY, I wanted to make some like nautical rope eggs. So we're going to use some of this. This is the thicker rope from the Dollar Tree, the 6 foot. And the reason I'm using this one is because I'm going to unwind it into thirds. So just removing the plastic at the end. We're just going to simply unwind it. It's going to give us a thinner rope, which is going to be great to cover some Dollar Tree eggs with. These are kind of some of their bigger plastic ones. Doesn't really matter what color they are. The rope is going to cover them pretty well. The most time-consuming part of this project is just probably unwinding the rope. So I just start with a little bit of hot glue at the top, and then we're just going to simply start winding these around the eggs. You do have to use hot glue here and there just to make sure that it is going to stay put. But mainly winding is going to cover most of the egg. And I just want to do a really cute egg display. I found something at the thrift store at Goodwill that's going to be really cute to display this egg. But you could always display your rope eggs in anything. You could do an Easter basket. You could do a basket of any kind. You could do a bowl. Be really cute. And just a simple way to DIY your own high-end looking Easter eggs. Especially when you start getting to the tips, you're going to have to start like using maybe a little bit more hot glue to make sure it stays in place. And you're going to want to keep the different rows kind of tight together so you don't see any of that color underneath. And I like doing it with this size egg. I haven't tried it with like the smaller one, but you might need a smaller string if you're going to use a smaller egg. And we're just going to keep covering it till you can't see any more of the plastic. And then trimming that off and gluing that down in there. Super cute. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing with our other little Easter eggs. And then I'll show you how I'm going to display these for Easter. So we have 4 wrapped rope eggs. And then I found the greatest thing at Goodwill on clearance. It is a little box of grass. So I thought that would be perfect for Easter because it looked like you having an egg hunt and you're hiding little eggs in the grass. So that's what it looks like. Just grass in a galvanized metal pot. Then I kind of wanted to add a little bit of a coastal decor to that galvanized metal. So I'm just going to use some burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree. And just kind of line that around the edges. But it was a little too thick, so I'm just going to kind of cut that down and make a thinner ribbon. I love DIYing with this burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I often find it in the fall at Dollar Tree, but I always try to stock up on it. Depending on my Dollar Tree, some Dollar Trees have it year-round. And that way some of the galvanized metal will still show through. We're just going to kind of hot glue this to the corner. And wrap that all the way around. I thought this really screamed Christmas. Otherwise, I don't know why I would really have like a box of grass sitting around. But maybe. Just cutting that down to size and gluing the other end, just pulling it tight all around all 4 sides of the little box of grass. And then we can just simply hide our little Easter eggs like right inside. So fun, and I think 4 is going to be like the perfect number. Just kind of have some straight up, some kind of tipping over. And then one more little coastal detail. I thought I would add just a little sand dollar that I got on Amazon right on the front. And it screams Coastal Easter. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. If you did, leave me like the bunny emoji so I'll know you're still watching and I can give you a special shout out. but I really appreciate your support. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, comment your favorite DIY below, and don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers. And I have just introduced memberships on my channel as well. If you'd like to support my channel for $4.99 a month, you can cancel anytime. You're going to get early access to my videos along with other perks. I appreciate you guys so much, and now it's time for the final reveal.
I get a little bit breathless. My thoughts are too big. Can I get some comfort, please? I guess I should have been honest. A break to my heart. It's weighing me down, baby. I'm like a river that's overflowed. The sooner you know it, the less do we hurt. Let me speak the truth. I know you don't wanna face it. You think it's too late, but I can see past the rain. Won't you lay it on me? Turn the page and burn it. Let's make up a big bonfire on the beach with the stars as our lighters, and throw our problems in the flame. Throw our problems in the flame. We fell down to the bottom, so bottom up please. We're gonna get over this. I see the smoke in the mirrors. I'm holding the key, one step away from salvation. You're like the ocean, setting me free. Out in the open, I'm picking up speed. No bad thoughts penetrate. Hold me like this is the first time. Our destiny calls, not leaving this incomplete. Won't you lay it on me? Turn the page and burn it. Let's make up a big bonfire on the beach with the stars as our lighters, and throw our problems in the flame. Throw our problems in the flame. And throw our problems in the flames. Ooh, throw our problems in the flame. I get a little bit breathless. My thoughts are too big. Can I get some comfort, please? I get a little bit breathless. My thoughts are too big. Can I get some comfort, please? I guess I should have been honest. A break to my heart. It's weighing me down, baby. I'm like a river that's overflowed. The sooner you know it, the less do we hurt. Let me speak the truth. I know you don't wanna face it. You think it's too late, but I can see past the rain. Won't you lay it on me? Turn the page and burn it. Let's make up a big bonfire on the beach with the stars as our lighters, and throw our problems in the flame. Throw our problems in the flame.
Thank you so much to the following Crafty Beach Bums for supporting my channel. I appreciate you all so much. And if you would like more Crafty Beach YouTube things that you might enjoy, this video right here. Thanks for watching. Happy Easter!